for what I miss.
Boom.
Son of a bitch.
Support, no DQ.
Got it this time.
Take a sip.
Got it this time.
Take a sip.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
Take a sip and bring your blood pressure down.
Support, no DQ.
How do you say jobber in Spanish?
Wolfgang and Mark Coffey could say it just fine.
And did the British knockoff knock out the outlandish gentleman?
Will Electric Storm be enough to knock out the Nina Samuels show? Gentlemen, raise your beverages. It's an NXT party.
Support, no DQ.
Welcome everybody to the NXT party for episode number 45 of NXT UK. I'm your host, the Rated R reviewer, Stefan Osborne, joined as always by the General Jerry Slaughter.
Guten Tag, wrestling fans.
And tonight, our special guest, the holiday, Chris Mace. How are you doing, Chris?
Doing great, y'all.
And tonight's episode was pretty good. Pretty good episode. We've got 3 matches, one of which is a championship match. That's the main event for the women's title. And we start off the episode, though, with a flashback to last week, to the main event, Dunne versus Walter 2 for the WWE UK Championship. And what a fine match. Jerry got to watch it just a couple of nights ago. First match of NXT UK, first title match that I've actually watched twice. Still well worth it. I don't think it was good as the first match. I think it was a little bit of a watered down TV version of it. But it led up to what happened at the end, and that paid off everything. So, congrats to NXT UK for that entire angle last week. But moving forward, we've got Walter, Marcel Bartel, and Fabian Eichner. They come out to Walter's music, and it's so cool.
Coolest fucking entrance ever.
It is so cool to see the triple silhouette up against the completely white LED background. I kind of still wish that they would do what I thought would be great, would be set up the camera, level with them, or maybe looking up the rampway so that Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel respectively could get behind Walter, and it could take one silhouette and then they could step to the side and become 3. But maybe they'll figure that out as they go along. Either way, this was still really cool.
Yeah.
They come to the ring. They crisscross at the ring, and they all come in on a different apron, and it's really cool. And then not Fabian Eichner, but Marcel Bartel goes to talk. He's the one that brought the microphone. But every time he brings the microphone to his lips, the crowd boos.
Instant heat is beautiful.
And so this ends up being a promo for all 3 of them. I don't really have any notes other than their new name, which we'll get to. What did you think about this promo? Stupid question, maybe. I don't know.
Seriously, I've been waiting for pretty much ring comp to assemble here, and that's what we're getting is NXT, the NXT UK version of them. Because the core of the group is Marcel Bartel and Walter. So, to see it finally materialize on NXT television is something magical. And for it to happen in Glasgow, of all places, which is kind of weird. But it needed to happen, and I'm glad it happened. But the promo itself is just them establishing their mission statement. They're going to they're more or less suck the fun out of NXT UK and make it what it's supposed to be about, traditional wrestling.
Yeah, the mat is sacred.
Yes.
What did you think about this opening in-ring promo, Chris?
Fucking awesome. Like the possibilities of the different matchups they can do is fucking endless, and I'm excited about this.
Well, they reveal, or rather Walter reveals, the new name of the group is Imperium.
Mm-hmm.
Play on the word empire. As Jerry told me during it, it's likely the German way of saying empire. Who knows? But during this, they basically call out Pete Dunne and Mustache Mountain as British Strong Style and say they weren't able to lead NXT UK anywhere.
Yeah.
But we are going to lead NXT UK to being better.
Yes.
And we're going to make the mat sacred again.
Yes.
Oh, they need to have hats for red hats with white lettering that say "Make the mat sacred again."
They've got the scarves. Just says the
MMSA.
Yeah, we're not going to trump them up, okay?
So, this ends up becoming a 6-man brawl.
Yep, because Bruiserweight Pete Dunne shows up, and he doesn't show up alone.
And there's a cameraman in the ring that gets knocked down. His camera gets knocked down. And I don't know if this was set up or not, but they take this opportunity for the camera to briefly fizz out and go to the colored bars, then comes back, then fizzes out again to the colored bars, then comes back, then fizzes out again to the colored bars, and then we go to commercial. Or what WWE Network has for commercials, which is for stuff for other commercial or other stuff on the network.
Yeah.
Or WWE Shop. I think this might have been a WWE Shop commercial.
Yeah. But even then, the whole transition for that was awesome. Like it had that really old school Raw vibe to it, where it's like the chaos got so bad that the cameraman could even like stay in there and for it to be contained, it just started spilling out. So that was exciting.
So we come back from commercial to Radzi interviewing Sid Scala about what just happened in the ring. And Sid Scala says, "That's not how things are done around here." And I'm like, this is wrestling. I beg to differ, but whatever. So he schedules in 2 weeks' time a 6-man tag match. We are going to have Imperium versus British Strong Style. And this should be a great main event, because if it's not the main event, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. But obviously, it's got to be the main event. Next week, we're going to have the Fatal 4-Way for the #1 contendership for the WWE UK Championship.
Yeah.
Say that.
Wow, you nailed that.
Yep.
Petered out there at the end, but I got it.
Yep.
That should be the main event next week, and then the week prior. This is going to be a pretty good couple of weeks of WWE NXT UK.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of.
Well, yeah, I figured this is the start of the second night in Glasgow, because I think they did 2 shows there. That first set was, the 3 episodes. Now we're gonna get 3 episodes for this one.
Yep.
So it's been a good showing.
So that's going to be their main event for the second night.
Yep.
That's going to be awesome. So up next we get match number 1 of, like I said, a 3-match card, but with the opening promo in the ring.
We'll say three matches in a brawl.
Yeah, 3 matches in a brawl. We've got Mark Coffey and Wolfgang come out. Joe Coffey comes out with them, but after that triple handshake, he splits. They go out alone, and of course they do, because you thought it might be the Hunt.
Yeah.
And they might have a little bit of a challenge, but they'll still win. No, this was Carlos Romo and A-Kid. And what kind of generic-ass bullshit name is A-Kid? Because somebody's like, oh, hey, who's that in the ring? I don't know. A kid?
A kid.
A kid? Yeah. So, we know who's winning this match. Jeez. And sure enough, but I've got a few notes here. I mean, some interesting things. But before I get into that, what did you think about this opening match, Chris?
I was trying to figure out the name first. A-Kid. That was the most generic, basic thing they could have come up with that guy was A-Kid. But like I said, it was just a pretty much basic squash match, just establishing them some more. And I think it's also interesting to me how Gallus comes out after all that happened earlier with the brawl, too, because you got to think they're also a trio, too, and I'm trying to figure out now after watching this little squash match here, all I was thinking about the whole time was, all right, so now when's Gallus getting involved in this, too?
That's when it comes time for a War Games match.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, too. I'm glad
UK.
you're on the same page.
I think it actually starts before then. I think it's going to be the Kingdom versus the Empire. Gallus versus after Imperium knocks out British Strong Style. You're going to have I'm thinking Joe Coffey as my pick for Fatal 4-Way, and he's going to go on to face Walter.
I don't.
And that's what's going to set up Wolfgang and Mark Coffey against Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner.
No, Mastiff all the way. You're going to have the biggest baby face for Walter to somehow need Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel to help him win. And further solidify him being a heel, a cheating heel.
Beg to differ, but at the same time, Romo and A-Kid put up a fighting chance wearing the Crown Royal purple. But there was not one point in this match that I was thinking, oh man, these two are going to pull the upset of the year. No. Not in any way, shape, or form. These guys weren't even pre-show. They weren't even dark match. They parked cars, if anything.
So my first note here is Mark Coffey, and I don't remember. I think it was A-Kid. He delivers a massive. Let's let that car go by. He delivers a massive chokeslam wedgie bomb.
Yep.
Because he lifts him up, and all he's got are regular like underwear cut trunks, and they go right up his butt. And to the point to where after he receives the choke slam, he's got to like sit up and pull it out from the crack of his butt.
Yep.
That was hilarious, if anything.
It was a hell of a wedgie slam.
And then he tags in Wolfgang, who hits that senton cross body, that inverted senton that he does while the dude's like laying but sitting up. And then we see Mark with a full Nelson that he turns into a swing, much like Joe takes that double chicken wing underhook and turns it into a swing, that butterfly. He does a couple of swings after that and then turns it into a half Nelson slam. A-Kid gets the hot tag to Romo, but then he gets in the ring, turns around in the corner to get hyped up, turns around, runs into a double chop. It was like a Polish hammer, but with chops, and goes down immediately. Mark tags in Wolfgang, who hits a pop-up power slam, but holds the slam so that Mark Coffey can hit an enziguri to the back of whomever's head. And 1, 2, 3. Gallus wins.
Yep.
Of course.
Wolfgang tries to administer a little bit of a post-match beatdown. Mark reins him in, and that's the end of it.
So after this match, we get Radzi interviewing Zaya Brookside about Jazzy Gabbert and Jenny bringing her out and her attacking after the match. After, who was it? Was it Killer Kelly that dodged out? Got the fuck out of there.
Killer Kelly bounced.
She showed that respect for the whole match, but then when it came time to face the Beast, she was like, fuck that. Fuck that. Zaya says that this is not new to her, that she had to overcome bullies, and she's talked about Rhea Ripley, and I'm like, yeah, you really didn't overcome her at all. About the point that I'm realizing she's making no sense, Isla Dawn appears.
It makes even less.
And interrupts and says, hey, I'm sorry about what happened to you, but if you need somebody, I've got your back, and if you want to tag up, I guess ostensibly against Jazzy Gabbert and Jenny, let's go talk tech, I think is what she said, or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And they walk off, and I'm just like, okay, all right, whatever. It's advancing some kind of story, so let's see where it goes. What do you think about this, Jerry?
I think Isla Dawn and Zaya Brookside are destined to be jobbers, or at least enhancement talent, for a foreseeable future. Because they're not really doing anything to, prolong their wrestling careers by getting these in the ring with these, destroyers, more or less. And Isla Dawn still can't make heads or tails from her. I think if anything, maybe Isla Dawn turns on Zaya Brookside.
I'm really hoping so. And
actually embraces her dark side in some way, shape, or form, and makes her lisp a little more deadly sounding. But otherwise, I don't see anything else becoming worthwhile in this match.
What did you think about this interview, Chris?
Only thing to me this is building up to is them facing Jenny and her bodyguard, and like I said, all it is going to help build Jenny and her bodyguard up. That's all it's doing. They're pretty much just glorified enhancement talent at this point, and probably going to be like that for at least a couple years, the way I'm looking at it.
Mm-hmm. So after this, we have a selfie promo by Joseph Connors, and he is talking about Ilya Dragunov. And I guess it's just setting up a match between them. I didn't really pay too much attention because that's all I got out of it.
Because Joseph Connors is on such a hot streak right now. Seriously. Like, he basically keeps on going after these guys that are either just debuting or are coming off some sort of injury and something, and they're making fools out of them. Seriously, like, Joseph Connors could be a potential badass, but A, he keeps on changing his look around, because for a while there he was looking really cool in the ring, and like attire-wise and wrestling-wise. He's starting to add show more and more of his moveset. What he needs to do is establish a good game plan just on who he's actually facing, and start backing it up more in the ring.
Well, I mean, last week we saw him with that slingshot, what was it, slingshot?
Bulldog,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great move.
Yeah.
I mean,
he shows us something new
there
each time.
So I don't see what your problem is.
Well, no, my problem is he's not pulling off the win.
Yeah, that's true.
You pull off all the sweet moves on the planet, but if you're pinned to the match 1, 2, 3, or tap out or whatever else, it's still a loss.
Yeah, and losing to Travis Banks in NXT UK is the lowest of the low.
No, losing to Ashton Smith is still that, but...
Oh, yeah. Or, God forbid, Jack Stars.
Like...
Yeah.
Yeah, if you lose to Jack Stars at this point, you might as well just go home. Chris, what are you making of this, and do you have a pick on who would actually come out on top?
I want Connors to win. You got to go at some point, if you're going to keep having his character always wanting to fight the shiny new toys that come into NXT UK, or, you know, he's got to pick up a win at some point. And like I said, I wasn't impressed with that guy that looks like Draco, or that guy from Rocky IV, that boxer. I'm not impressed with him at all. He had a great promo when he was supposed to get there, and he gets there, it's like getting a present. Oh, you see this big present. Oh, man, I'm about to open this big present. I get ready to open up, and you're like, oh, what the fuck? It was just a complete disappointment. So I say, if they're going to do anything, they need to do something with Connor. They need to do something with him now against this Draco-looking guy. Pretty much, I'm not impressed with him at all. They need to do something with Connors, because you can't keep doing this gimmick of, I want to fight all the shiny new toys and losing every time. It's just not going to work.
This is true. And I'm afraid he's probably going to lose. Because this is ostensibly going to be the second or third match, possibly, for Dragunov.
Yeah.
I don't see him losing because, again, he is the shiny new toy. Got to give him some wins.
It would make sense for him versus Joseph Connors to be a third one. Have Joseph Connors come out during the second one, kind of scout him, or, just, make it known that he's ready to face him or something. Make it look somewhat intimidating in some way, shape, or form.
Here's something you do that you haven't done in NXT UK yet. Make him come to the announcers table and join the announcers calling the match.
Yeah, that'd be excellent.
And then you get to learn stuff about him while you're watching the match, and hopefully you can intertwine it and get you invested in a future match between him and Ilya.
They haven't done that at all yet.
Nope.
We've just been stuck with Nigel McGuinness and Vic Joseph.
So after this, we get a video package for the Fatal 4-Way for the #1 contendership for the WWE UK Championship. And it's an NXT video package. What do you want me to say? It was great. It showed all 4 guys winning their respective matches. It gave you every bit of reason in the world there is to be excited about this match, and nothing more, nothing less. I don't think there is any more reason to be excited for this match. I'm excited for this match. Anybody else not excited? Yeah.
The only thing that doesn't excite me about this match is Travis Banks.
Somebody's got to take the pinfall.
Yep, that's why he's there.
So after this, we get Cassius Ohno versus Jack Gallagher. And this is a match we learned about last week, and Cassius Ohno seemed extremely happy about, and so he should be.
Yeah.
What did you think about it, Jerry?
Well, this is the second match that we've had that we've watched today. that was really reversal heavy and very like European, we'll go ahead and say, influenced at least in grappling style and reversals and holds, because we had watched Kushida versus Gulak earlier today, and but this one actually held our attention, I think, a lot more, in the sense that there was a lot more going on between the two, a lot more, like, a little bit more respect, if anything, towards the beginning there, but that could have been mock respect out of Ono.
It really seemed that way.
But then you also had Gallagher get his nose busted open relatively early in the match, too. And that brought a little bit more of a viciousness. And you saw the match get progressively more vicious. Like, it started off playful, like, haha, anything you can reverse, I can reverse better.
Yeah, Ono trying to show Jack that he can out-wrestle him in the British style.
Even did a kip-up that I haven't seen him do since his Chris Hero days, and did it beautifully.
Yeah, that's my first note of the match, only he precurses the kip-up with, he's in a head scissors. Jack Gallagher's got him in a head scissors, and he, like, wiggles or vibrates himself out by humping up from the mat. Like, he's on his back, and he does, like, these, like, short hump-ups in a row and just wiggles himself out from between the legs and then kips up.
Yeah.
So it turns possibly the gayest thing I've seen all night into a pretty cool spot. Just saying. Anyway, go on, Jerry.
Well, that's all I really had to say about it.
All right, Chris, what do you think about this match?
Very interesting match to me. I found this entertaining. I liked how they were being pretty much both being respectful at first, but then they kept going along with it, being sarcastic as fuck about it. I like how when the gentleman did that, kind of like, it looked like he was rolling the ball and like waving at him, being sarcastic to him. I liked it. It was interesting. It's the first time, I don't remember, y'all can correct me, I never seen where the gentleman actually hit a headbutt and his opponent actually ended up trying to turn it into some kind of offensive move once he got hit with the headbutt. I thought that was an interesting twist on that.
He didn't immediately go down.
Yeah.
And then the ending of it was interesting just because, you know, it's had some controversy, so they could easily set up a rematch because now the gentleman's got a right to bitch.
I mean, if he wants to.
Well, I'm not saying the craftiness at the end. Just the look on Ono's face was...
Yeah.
That was awesome.
So my second note of the match is where Gallagher blocks a rolling elbow. Like, Ono's got him in a reverse cravat, like an inverted cravat, and then like lets him out and spins into a rolling elbow, but Gallagher blocks it with a headbutt to the wrist.
Yeah.
So he actually hits quite a few headbutts in this match. Not to be undone, I think at some point Ono hits a headbutt to Gallagher's gut.
Yeah.
Jack goes for an arm bar, because at this point he's been working over Cassius Ono's right arm because he wants to block the rolling elbow.
Yeah.
So he starts out on the left arm, but then realizes and mid arm bar like gets over Ono and switches to the right arm. So that was great. Transitions that into a triangle, but then Ono like gets up and goes to pick him up into a powerbomb out of the triangle. But then Jack Gallagher like jumps out of that and then lands a fucking headbutt there. But Ono doesn't go down. And he ends up going down into like a sideways senton that takes Jack Gallagher down with him. Ends up in a splash. I don't know how they pulled this off, but it actually worked out.
It looked great. It looked sloppy and it looked great at the same time.
And then at this point, you are, let me get this right, never gonna get it, never gonna get it. This is the breakdown.
Yes.
They get up on their knees and they start swinging. They're trading punches. This gets them standing up. Ono catches Jack, though, coming off the ropes, and he hits that rolling elbow. And Jack goes down right next to the ropes. So Ono kind of pulls him a little bit, but not enough. And he pins him, but the ref doesn't see. Gallagher's leg is completely under the
hanging
ropes.
out of the ring, more or less.
Worse than Chris Benoit in his last match in WCW.
Yeah.
Like, you know, where he technically won the title, but he wasn't there to pick it up because he was on Raw. Anyway, this was obvious. They kept saying it was, you know, Ono is just smart for taking, you know, and I'm like, Ono didn't do anything. It was the ref's fault for not seeing.
Yeah.
But after the 3 count, Ono notices and he pulls the leg back so that at this point the ref wouldn't see it and be like, oh, I should take that call back.
And it smiles coyly at the camera, kind of like this.
But as Jerry said, this does possibly set up for a rematch. I'm hoping the next rematch is less of this fun stuff, this fun, respect or joking respect or whatever the fuck it is. I noticed there was the spot where Ono backs away without taking the cheap shot, but then he claps really sarcastically at Gallagher, but then Gallagher does the same thing. But his seems more genuine, but somehow more sarcastic because it's more genuine looking.
You know what just struck me as I'm sitting here, though? It'd be interesting if they do a rematch that made it the crossover one, and they do go ahead and throw Gulak and Kushida in there too, and make it a 4-way.
You never know.
That'd be interesting.
So after this, we get an interview with Piper Niven, and she's talking about Rhea Ripley, who previously last week in an in-ring segment said that Niven is only talking about her. That's all she does is talk about. Yeah. And she's basically saying whenever she wants to fight, I'll be there. And this is again setting up for a fight, but not even really setting up for a fight. No announcement has been made. It's been almost 2 months. When are we finally going to see this match? I'm ready to get it the fuck over with. Apparently Jerry is too. What'd you think about this here, Chris?
The piss poor job of building up this feud, that's for damn sure. It was like, just have the match already. Like I said, Piper Niven hasn't impressed me, still hasn't impressed me with anything yet. So I'm just want to get this match over with at this point.
Jerry?
He's awake now. He's alive.
Uncle Jesse, no!
Get some more tea.
What'd you think about this?
Oh,
Piper Niven here.
All I'm hearing out these two is talk.
Yeah.
There has not been one blow trade between these two since they have even started their feud.
And no real challenge initiated.
No challenge initiated. It's like, hey, you want this? Come get this. Hey, you want this? Hey, buddy. Hey, guy. This kind of shit. No.
I'm not your buddy, friend.
It's been about, what, 2 months now since Piper showed up? I'd say about that. And there's really no advancement in this feud in any way, shape, or form.
None.
So, do something. You're just spinning tires at this point and pissing people off. Have a match.
Speaking of matches that we can finally get out of the way, we are on to the main event. Tonight we have Nina Samuels versus Toni Storm for the NXT UK Women's Championship. And it's alright.
It wasn't that bad. It could have been a lot worse.
What do you think about the main event, Chris?
It wasn't that bad. I think the match, to me, a championship match, I feel like to me, always have said that, should be at least a good 20-25 minutes, but I see why you don't do it with Toni Storm. I have never been really impressed with Toni Storm. I know a lot of people hate that I say that, but oh well, it's my opinion. They had good spots in the match. I kind of thought it was interesting when Toni Storm hit that drop kick, then turned around, did what Shinsuke Nakamura would do to somebody, saying, come on, and that was entertaining for me for a second, and just I was ready for the match to be done with. So, other than that, that's pretty much about it. She won with her Storm, her finish, so that was it. All right, go on the next challenger. Somebody beat her for the title at this point.
I know, right? Finally. Jerry?
She comes out looking like David Lee Roth's cabbie. More or less. And after that, I can't take her seriously at all. Nina Samuels has a really cool entrance to her. We'll give her that. And her in-ring work is actually pretty impressive. But like Toni Storm, I don't know. I think her style's a little too soft for me. I think it's one of the other things. She panders too much to the crowd. That's because she's a babyface. I get that. But then also, she's just not impressive to me in the ring.
The ring, what we're seeing out of Nina Samuels is progression.
Yes.
We have not seen a lot of that out of Toni Storm. Toni Storm seems to be
content in her way of doing things.
Yeah, she was fully trained coming in, and she's not changing or adapting or adding anything new to her style. She's fine the way she is. Nina Samuels, over the last several months, has, every time I see her in the ring, I see her doing a new move. And maybe that's her thing, and a different move every match. But that would be a good policy. Learn a different move for every match, even if it's something small.
Well, that should be your goal in any kind of job, is to pretty much learn something new each time. That way, because if you ever consider that you've stopped learning, you've pretty much stopped living.
That's one way to look at it. So my first note here is something new out of Nina Samuels. So she goes for this slingshot and corkscrews into like a crossbody splash onto Toni Storm. She gets a near fall out of that. She does that cartwheel off the top buckle where she catches the kick from her opponent, throws it over the middle rope, and then while they're tied up, grabs the back of Toni's head and slams it over her knee. So that's the second time we've seen it almost exactly the same way she did it last time. Like, it's spot for spot.
Mm-hmm.
Toni Storm counters Nina Goroshi setup. Didn't really have it completely set up, but she headbutts Nina coming off the ropes for a near fall. And then Storm does this bridging German, gets another near fall. Nina sets up a Storm Zero, and I'm like, is she about to use Toni Storm's move? But no, she does it, a backbreaker over her knee.
That would have made Roderick Strong proud.
And then Nina goes up top. Storm tries to catch her, but Nina Samuels counters, and then hits a missile drop kick off the top rope, a near fall. And then after this, Storm hits a headbutt, and then 2 single underhook suplexes and she rolls through them. After the last roll through, on the third time, she double underhooks and then brings her up for a Storm Zero. 1, 2, 3. Toni Storm retains. Of course. Of course. Any other notes before we rate this bitch? That brings us to the end of the main event, and here on the NXT party, we like to rate the main event using good old-fashioned NXT. So, as our special guest, Chris, out of 5 spots of NXT, where do you rate this main event?
Oh, I'm going to go average. I'm going to go 2.5, and I'm going to give it an extra quarter star because I like the rest of the show besides this main event.
What do you think, Jerry?
With this one, we pretty much knew Nina Samuels wasn't going to win, but at the same time, she lost in at least a great fashion to the point where we got to see even more out of her. That she's actually, like you said, progressing in the ring, and that she's going to be a contender somewhere down the line. Just tonight wasn't her night. So, Toni Storm, her time's eventually going to end. It's Toni time right now. But considering the opening segment had Imperium in it, I'm going to go ahead and give it 3.
You know, I like this match better than the middle of the road. I think it was better than that. I would qualify this as a really good match. And for me, good starts at 3 stars.
Yeah.
And off the back of a great show, because again, you had Imperium and then the 6-man breakdown at the beginning of the show. You had the great tag team squash match. You had what ended up being a really good match, even though 2/3 of it was that boring chain wrestling, blocking and trading and blah, blah, blah. That one actually went somewhere as opposed to the one we saw on NXT that ended really abruptly. This one actually got fairly vicious, and we saw some actual interesting wrestling, intriguing, entertaining, some slams, some kicks, some shit that wasn't just trading arm bars and stuff.
That Raw arm
ended up being a really good... Off the back of I'm going to go 3.25.
All right.
3.25 for the main event. I think it more than deserves it. I thought it was a better match than I was expecting it to be, honestly.
So pretty much middle of the road for the match, for the night in general, which sounds right.
Average of 3.
For the first hour of the 3 we're getting out of the second night last count. So
where can we find you, Chris?
Well, you can find me on Facebook at Christopher Mace. You can follow me there. You can support NoDQ.com, Aftermatch Wrestling, The Simple Man, Noah's channel, Colin's show, Chopping Block. Also, you could support Cindy, James, and Owen. And also, like I said, I want to just take a second to tell you both thank you for the opportunity to be able to do this. Like I did this last time, 205 Live Matters. I said, I think
episode number 20, an excellent episode. You guys killed it on that one.
But I wanted to, like I said, since I'm on here with both y'all, I tell y'all thank y'all for the opportunity. Like I said, ever since episode 27 that I did with y'all the first time, I would have never thought I've been doing so many episodes and been having a lot of fun. And I think y'all inspired Noah to do his show. And
well, let me stop you.
Chopping block,
Stop.
Let me stop you, because I appreciate it, and that hits me in the heart. But more than that, I want you to know, from both of us, I know, we want to thank you. Because if it wasn't for you and Noah and Chris and Cindy and James and Owen and even Martin and even anybody.
Jeff Meacham.
Jeff Meacham. There we go. That's what I was looking for. You know, anybody that's been on the show. If it wasn't for you guys, this wouldn't be an NXT party.
No.
Like somehow, no matter what the crazy ass schedule, we managed to have at least one person on the show every week to help us review NXT UK. And let me take this opportunity to say thank you to you and to Colin and to Cindy and to Noah and to James and to Owen especially, our 6 loyal members of the NXT team. Thank you guys so very much for doing these shows with us, because I don't think we'd still be doing reviews for NXT UK at this point. Maybe just NXT, but if we had gone this long without ever having guests, like, the whole point would have just been like, let's just do the NXT show.
We would throw away those little plastic cups after maybe the second or third episode, I'm pretty sure.
But we are looking for a 7th member, 9th if you include me and Jerry, of the NXT team. And if you'd like to join us on a future episode of the NXT party, come help us review a future episode of NXT UK and have a spot of NXT with us. If I haven't said NXT enough times in a sentence. A long run-on sentence. You can find me on Twitter. Go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN. If you just want to find me on Twitter, it's at Stefan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. As always, the R stands for restricted. You can also find this gentleman on Twitter.
At NoDQ General, and also on my Facebook group Armbar, all capital, ARMBAR, exclamation point. Get well, Colin. We need you back on the screen with the exclamation point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Best wishes toward you and your recovery, and hopefully surgery soon too. But yeah, we have a whole bunch of different memes, a whole bunch of different discussions going on. Join up as long as you're going to be active. If you're not going to be active, I just got rid of 6 people the other night. So
yeah, it's not like subscribers. He don't care about numbers.
We care about subscribers here.
So if you'd like to just subscribe to our channel, Aftermatch Wrestling, that's where these videos go first. You can also get them in HD. So like our NXT video, What's NXT, that went up rather late tonight. But it was available as soon as it was done and processed on Aftermatch Wrestling. That's all one word, AFTERMATCH, Aftermatch Wrestling. We also have some exclusive content. Eventually we will be able to produce more Rated R reporters as I get used to this new schedule. Or maybe if I get a whole new fucking job and get a different schedule. So we shall see. But other than that, I always forget to plug. You can find me on Instagram now at osborne.stefan. I have Instagram. Who knew? So,
I think it came standard with Facebook after a bit.
Yeah, pretty much. If you like this video, click the like button, please. That is underneath me. But more importantly, if you like all of our videos, you should click the subscribe button that's underneath Jerry. And if you are subscribed to Aftermatch Wrestling, do yourself a favor, click that bell icon, because when we do reach 100 subscribers, we are at 80 currently. We are so close.
80!
At 100 subscribers, we go live with What's NXT and very likely our NXT TakeOver reviews. And if you've got that bell icon clicked, then your phone will let you know when we go live. We want you to ask us questions that we can answer at the end of the video.
Even if it's like an omelet recipe, we're going to be on really, really fucking early.
Yeah, come have breakfast with us. So, for the holiday, Christopher Mace. For the General, Jerry Slaughter. I am the Wizard of No DQ, Stefan Osborne. Thanks for having a spot of NXT with us, and we will see you NXT time.
Have a good night, y'all.